You write a comment, a normal comment. Someone replies, then someone else. Within a minute, the topic is gone. No one even remembers what was being discussed, but everyone is angry. Everyone is right. Everyone hates the other person. You don't know the person on the other side of the screen, but you are angry at them. Why? Oklahoma, 1954, 22 boys, a summer camp. But this was not a camp. It was an experiment. Its name, the Robbers Cave Experiment. And the question the researchers wanted to answer was this: how do people learn to hate each other? When the bus entered the camp, none of the children knew what was happening. They were all 11 to 12 years old. They all came from middle-class families. They were healthy. They went to school. They were normal kids. They were carefully selected. Because the researchers wanted to see something. Do problematic people start conflicts? Or do people become problematic? The children were separated into two groups, but they didn't know it. They were not even aware of each other's existence. There were two different areas in the camp. Two dormitories, two programs, two worlds. At first nothing happened. They were just kids. They swam, they fished, they hiked, they lit campfires. Then something began to change, slowly, unnoticed. The children stopped saying I. They started saying we. They ate together. They laughed together. They joked together. After a while they gave themselves names. One group, Rattlers, the other, Eagles. They were no longer just children. They belonged to a group. They made a flag. They had a slogan. They chose a leader. And most importantly, I guess they gained an identity. Each child was no longer just himself. He was his group. A sense of belonging appears very quickly. The human brain finds safety in being part of a community. It happens in school too. On the first day, no one knows anyone. Then a table forms. Then it becomes our table. And one day you notice the other table has become them. No one decides it, but it happens. The researchers did nothing. They only watched and waited, because the second part of the experiment had not started yet. One morning, the children were told. There was another group at the camp. There was silence. The first reaction was curiosity. Who are they? Then competitions were announced. Tug of war, baseball, treasure hunt, races. And one more detail. The winners would receive prizes. The losers, nothing. The first match was played. One group won, the other lost. At that moment nothing happened, but night came. And the conversations began. They were lucky. They cheated. We're better anyway. The next day the tone changed. They were no longer just rivals. They were the other side. Then mockery began. Then shouting. Then insults. One night the Rattlers found the other group's flag. They burned it. The Eagles found the ashes the next morning. There was silence. Then anger. They met in the dining hall. An argument started, chairs overturned, food was thrown, a fight broke out. The researchers were shocked, because only a few days earlier the children didn't even know each other existed. Now they hated each other, and no one had taught them hatred. There was only competition, only winner and loser. The speed at which these children formed bonds and developed hatred was strange. The experiment showed that hatred does not need a real reason. Even a minor friction with someone from another group can be enough. Night raids began. They snuck into dormitories and stole belongings. They broke each other's property. They left threatening notes. This was no longer a game. This was conflict. They could not stand being near each other. They shouted when they saw the other group. They threw stones. Physical fights broke out. The researchers believed the experiment was out of control. Because a reality had emerged, the same children, if they had met on the first day, would probably have become friends, but now they couldn't even stand to see each other. Maybe you've experienced something similar. You can share your stories in the comments. At this point, something important was discovered. Hostility did not come from familiarity. It came from grouping. The researchers decided to reconcile them. They put the children in the same room, showed them films, made them eat together, asked them to talk. Nothing worked. It got worse. Because being side by side is not peace. People do not reconcile simply by talking. Then the researchers tried something different. The camp lost its water supply. The tap stopped working. The children were told the pipes might be damaged. They needed to find the problem. Both groups walked together, searched together, dug together, and they solved it. That day there was no fight. The next day another problem appeared. The camp truck wouldn't start. It needed to be pushed. One group wasn't enough. Both groups pushed together. The truck moved, and something changed. No one planned it. But for the first time they laughed together. The next day they ate together. Then they rode the same bus home. And on the way back, they bought drinks for each other. They pooled their money. The hostility was gone, because they were no longer rivals. They shared the same problem. These methods reveal something about humans. The brain simplifies the world. Who is with us? Who is not? Belonging makes you feel safe. But something else happens. The group defines you. Without realizing it, you are no longer just yourself. You become us. And once us exists, them appears. People do not become enemies because they are different. They become enemies because they form groups. The experiment later became a theory. But the idea was simple. When resources are limited, groups conflict. When the problem is shared, groups unite. You can see this everywhere. Online arguments, politics, fandoms, social media, outrage. People think they defend ideas. In reality, they defend groups. We attach to a logo, a team, an opinion. And then the other side stops being human. The Robbers Cave experiment showed this. Humans learn hatred, and they learn it surprisingly fast. But the same humans can also learn cooperation. The problem is not our nature, it is conditions. Our friendships, rivalries, and beliefs are shaped by circumstances. If conditions were different, would you still be the same person? If you had been in that camp, which group would you join? And would you truly behave differently? Maybe the most disturbing answer is probably not.